Hi everyone, this is Crafts for Others, and I am just going to do a short video about what I bought this week. I bought the fourth book in the Outlanders series, The Drums of Autumn, and I'm not going to try to pronounce the author's last name. Years ago I think I read 3 or 4 of the books clear back in the 90s. So was able to watch through Amazon the first part of the first season, and I really liked it. So I'm trying to go back and read the books, and obviously since whenever I stopped reading the books clear back in the 90s, the author has made a lot more books. So I'm excited to go back and restart reading this series. The next book I have is actually their memoirs. It's called The Memoirs of Duc de Saint-Simon, and this is all about a gentleman who, during shortly after the Sun King Louis XIV died of France. This gentleman's a duke, and he happens to be a very powerful man and is close to the new regent, the Duke d'Orleans. And so it's all about kind of like intrigue and enemies and stuff like that. But I guess this memoir, which takes place from 1715 to 1723, is the third book in the memoirs that this gentleman wrote. The first book, I guess, takes place in 1691 to 1705 or 1710 or something like that. It's all about him first going to the court and meeting the Sun King Louis XIV of France. And then the next memoir is, let's see here. So the first book of the memoir is called Presented to the King, and it takes place from 1691 to 1709. The second book in the memoirs is called The Bastards Triumphant from 1710 to 1715, and it's shortly thereafter that the king has died and all the different problems going on with that. And then this is the last book, and this gentleman, because he's powerful and it seems like he has close ties to the regent of France, that he has made a lot of enemies. So I don't think I will really, here's what it is. I don't think I will want to read this first without reading the other 2 books, just because then I won't have all of the background. And I didn't realize that when I purchased the book. And it looks like I might be able to find them at 1500books.com. Looks like maybe they might have written it, or this is where, you know, whoever published it. They didn't write it, but yeah, you know what I mean. Let's see, the next book I got was The Ladys Maid, and it's by Margaret Forster. It sounds pretty interesting. It's about a young lady in 1844 named Lily Wilson, and she becomes a lady's maid to Lady Elizabeth Barrett. And I guess throughout time she's become, you know, her confidant, her companion. She knew her before she got married, and then after she got married and everything like that. And so obviously, I'm sure a lot of this happened probably a lot of the times with the Ladies' Maids during this time period, and even before that. Lily kind of lives her life vicariously through Lady Elizabeth. And, you know, so she almost becomes, her devotion almost becomes obsessed. Make sure, you know, I guess things are going well and stuff like that. And I guess at some point, Lily's own affairs take a dramatic turn, and she needs help from Lady Elizabeth, and she expects that same loyalty that she has for more than 15 years given to Lady Elizabeth. So, but obviously we don't know what occurred, that, you know, that she needs Lady Elizabeth's help, and will, whatever it is, will she give the help that, that her maid feels like she deserves. So I thought it sounded interesting. And I know I said in my last video that I hadn't really ever seen any books based on Mary Bennet's character. Mostly, you know, obviously Elizabeth and Lydia and stuff like that. But I found another book. So it's called A Match for Mary Bennet. And yeah, you can, there you go, read, oops, wrong way, read the author's name. I'm not going to try to pronounce that. So, in this book, Mary Bennet's older sisters have all gotten married. And she's relieved because she doesn't want to marry anyone. But of course, anyone knowing the story about the Bennet sisters and their mother knows the mother's not going to let a daughter not be married. So, eventually, I guess, two appealing young gentlemen move into the neighborhood, and it's all about Mary's relationship with them and whatever is going to happen after that. So I thought it sounded interesting, and I think it was only like $2.50 or something like that. I got it at a used bookstore. So the next book I have is Court Lady and Country Wife, and it's, I'm not going to try to pronounce that name, if you can see it, hopefully. Might help if I put it that way. Yeah, so that's the name of the author. So this is based on a true story as well. As you can tell, I like historical type things. This is about two noble sisters in 17th century England, and it's about two aristocratic sisters, Lucy and Dorothy Percy, and they are around the time of King Charles I in the 1630s, and sorry, they their father is an earl, and it appears that some of them went to marry certain men, and it sounds like one of them lands into the Tower of London. One of them is involved in politics and has lovers and stuff like that. So it sounds pretty interesting, and again, it's based on these two women, these two sisters that really existed. Let me see here if they have a picture of what they look like. Maybe they won't have a whole bunch of... Oh, so here are the two sisters. I guess this is Lucy. And then here's her sister Dorothy. So, but yeah, so I guess, and in the back of it, it's a prologue, but it's a little bit different than what's on the inside here. And it's, takes place in this one little excerpt says it takes place in 1617, and both of the sisters have found gentlemen that they want to marry, but their father's an earl, and they know, at least one of them knows that their father won't be happy about their choice. So I thought it sounded really interesting, and I like historical stuff and memoirs and stuff like that, so it's right up my alley. In regards to Bout of Books, I really haven't been able to do much this week. I either haven't been feeling good or been having other stuff going on. I have read 40 pages or so in The Railway Children, and it's pretty interesting so far. In that I can see if you're either a child or a grown-up, kind of shows you what a child's life in the country might be like, you know, how much exploring you can do and stuff like that. And, or if you did grow up in the country or somewhat in the country, as a child or adult, then you could relate to it. So that's where I'm at, and in the book, so far the children have discovered the train, and the station master of the train. They're fascinated with the train. And so I'm sure that they're going to get involved in some adventure or mystery or something like that. So it's a very light read, obviously. If you're an adult, I'm sure, they'll be up to something. So I can tell it's going to be a really fast read, though, once I get into it. Casino Royale was the only other book that I've attempted to read this week, and I've decided to give up on it. Not going to do anymore. It's a very, very short book, but normally, if... Just a second, I have to drink the water, sorry. Normally, even if I don't like a book, I read half of it, and most of the time I just push myself and read the whole thing. Most of the time, the book doesn't get any better, and I just can't get into the book. I can't get into the writing style, and I don't really know that much about the main character, and like memos are going around to different people, and I'm only like on the second chapter. I just cannot get into the Casino Royale by Ian Fleming. So I've just decided that I'm not even going to put myself through forcing myself to read it. I'm not going to. So that one's out. So I will probably hopefully finish reading The Railway Children, and then I need to start reading Dead Wake by Erik Larson, which recently just came out. It's all about the Lufthansa, and during, or before, it had passengers on it, American passengers, and I'm sure lots of other passengers, and it was attacked by the Germans and tons of different stuff. But Erik Larson, I know he's got a couple other books that are going to be, I think, one or two of them made into movies, and I've never read anything about him, or read any of his books yet, but it looks pretty interesting. So that's all I have. Hopefully anyone else has had had some book finds or had good luck in reading this week. So that's all I have. When I get done reading at least one or two of the books, then I will probably do a book review. So take care, everyone.